Yeah, cause I wanna make that shit old. I knew you would be it, right? Probably. He's not, he's see that one. It is.
Try to keep the dog from climbing the wall. You need support the line.
My dog does too. So every time I get a new puppy, I crank up Alexa and I torture them with fireworks. As
Lean
puppies.
into it.
Yeah, I just like randomly will put it on and I crank it pretty loud. My family's like, oh my God. Crazy.
I mean, it's not a bad
Like,
idea.
desensitizing so far. I don't
That-
know,
I mean,
another one that I.
that's what they do for-
Yeah.
For hunting dogs too, I mean, they take them out as a puppy and just shoot right next to them to.
It decent. I don't know, I read it like somewhere, so I've done it for the other two. See if it works for the third.
Never ran into that problem though. Of your dogs hating the fireworks?
A lot of them, like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe with my last setter I did. This setter is like, eh. Nothing bigger.
Fort Pierre was fairly loud last night when I went to bed.
I guess it's bringing out the trumpet and, that's something that's even face her. She just looks at me and goes, cats running her. I guess it's a breeder thing. It's where it got her from. Even getting a new puppy.
She just turned a year, so she hasn't, I haven't,
She hasn't experienced.
she hasn't experienced Fort Pierre fireworks yet.
What kind of dog?
Scanning more documents.
She is a Cavalier.
Oh, she had to have everything printed off of her face.
Okay, so she's a little girl.
Moved in and grabbed a bunch of her files to start scanning. Shredding,
Yeah.
precise, pretty strong.
I don't know if I want to get having the
Yes.
Okay.
This one is that, but with a little poodle, so they don't shut,
Still like some.
they don't shut up, which is.
But there's some of the stuff I don't have is more references.
I never, prior to having dog, and I never had non-shutter.
Well, and some of the stuff I was like, this is.
I have a short hair setter. So I was like, rather than yelling for it,
Unscaled and I.
Yeah.
For reference.
Archives or something like
have
that.
had setter before they just.
Business is.
So if it doesn't like, it shows setters plus their town.
I don't care about the fireworks. I'm just for the Fourth of July. Sean said he was gonna be here and Janae, so we are waiting on that.
What sent you?
Can't I just text him or? I just tried calling like his cell phone, like straight to voicemail. We're waiting on Janae. So she's gonna drop on too. I don't know where Dustin's going.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah, unless he's busy with some firework cleaning stuff.
I don't know that he even ever accepted the meeting.
Except.
These pictures of bridges of that wind power. Is that unbelievable? Wow. Just been in half. In thirds, actually.
Yeah, my husband showed me all that.
It does not make me feel good about tornadoes.
Over and I'm like, holy cow,
It's not scary a little now on tornadoes because at least this just bent it over. Like,
Low.
yeah. Feel like they should
maybe
be
the like,
a
the
little higher wind.
windmills, like.
That's a lot of wind though.
Yeah, it is, but can we bump that up to 150?
Well, my keys hit the,
Oh, was that?
my keys and my headphones. Everybody online, we are currently waiting for a couple more CERC members to jump on, so, we are not sitting at a quorum right now without them, so we will, try to get a hold of them to get them on.
Are you muted again?
He's not even showing it, Mom.
Receptionist, said people is like, right?
Yeah, she knows.
Hey, it's Tina.
What?
Are you able to get on the CERC meeting? We're one short.
Yeah, we noticed that it wasn't accepted, so I thought you meant missed that one.
Okay.
He's gonna grab a computer, he'll be on in 5. It's not on his radar.
I hope it's not different.
Yeah, it wouldn't. I wonder if he's out of the office, so they have to go to his guardian computers.
Yeah, good thing.
Oh, good. I just thought you had it all, you know?
No. No, because I have actual numbers in here. Mine are always printed out. Because half the time I lose my screen,
Oh.
like all this other stuff that I need. So status as a land, so.
Yeah, he a responder. Doesn't even look like he read it.
Yeah, no, his cell phone went straight to voicemail when I called it. Half the time I never know.
Okay, I just explained. Pretty sweet, tell them it again.
Yeah.
Seen any agenda that was written in the conference? Like, keep kind of tossing stuff out, but it takes quite a while for them to finalize. Lisa and I go to Spearfish next week, yes.
Yeah, I took the Steve Besser yesterday, because we're gonna, I threw out the idea of EPA coming in and being able to talk about capabilities for disaster staffing. Something still happens, but Aaron Creek will be 8 months. So, we're thinking next year. But
That'll be, Spearfish again. Yeah, there's no every year. Yeah, it's usually. It's about this year one, because they're going to live this year. Where's it also? So, you know,
Let's see.
every year, the next resident will be.
So weird.
That's really good.
I like it though. Quick pictures. Yeah.
No,
There's something reality. Yeah, that's.
It's dead with that, right?
Exactly.
But it has looked like just like the front of the, like the Trinidad packet, just looked like it was a AI or something. I'm not sure.
Or drums.
Yeah, someone, yeah. Said it was like very technology based, so I see a draft, I'll let you know. We go on Tuesday night, we're gonna check out the social place. Lisa always has to pick that. You know, try and eat supper there, make sure it's good for us to gather on Tuesday. Meetings are Wednesday. So I think we're circulating.
It should be kind of fresh.
Usually it's pretty quick and then people be going to the six.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it's not Tricia. She's good. It's her knee.
Okay.
I can't do that.
It's not close by.
But yeah, just incredible. We're getting a lot. I mean, like,
Yeah.
just the day.
We have to try calling to
Professional.
get
She didn't know these.
they will to drag bill, but they still have to have my credit card here to hold it, so we just have to send that out to all of our stuff. It's like, oh, that's just way honest. They could wait that, she's. They can check for it.
Living a dream. So she didn't want
We
to.
warned our staff.
I'm just like around for.
Make sure that no.
No, so she retired
She
last
does
night,
just make
but she left the next day.
Yeah, she's something, some.
Oh.
Meeting late.
Out of town. kind of-
We have a department picnic that week, and she was like, no, but I've seen that thing.
Priorities.
I mean, she did have a big move to pack for. I mean,
Sure, which email address? Because it's already, you know, I'll just send it to both of them. Send them together. I multiple once is bad, I third, like. Like, got it. Said he was just logging in. Yeah, quite it, you know.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
Yeah, greetings and spearfish, huh?
We'll just talk about this later.
Yeah, we'll mention the other, and the next meeting.
In other business.
My goodness.
Where? Okay.
Sorry about that. Not sure how I missed it here.
Okay.
Thanks for jumping on, Dustin.
Yes, we appreciate that. Thank you. We'll go ahead here and get started. I'd like to welcome everyone participating in today's meeting or listening online. The meeting is streaming live on sd.net, a service of South Dakota Public Broadcasting. For the benefit of our online listeners, I request that all participants identify themselves when speaking during the meeting. Participants should also remember to unmute their microphones only when speaking. The meeting is being recorded and the audio will be made available online following this meeting. To find the audio recording online, do a web search for South Dakota Boards and Commissions portal. Follow the link and select the name of the board. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started with introductions. I'll start. Tina Titsey, South Dakota Office of Emergency Management under the Department of Public Safety. I am the chair. And
Kelsey Newling, Department of Ag and Natural Resources.
Jackie McGuire, Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources.
Fred Howard, Department of Public Safety, Emergency Management Office.
Jason Humphrey, Department of Transportation.
Stephanie Silvernagle, Department of Agriculture and natural resources.
Online? Dustin, you want to start?
Sure, Dustin Willett, Rapid City, Pennington County Emergency Manager.
Doug Hinkle, Department of Public Safety, State Fire Marshal's Office.
Whitney Luptenmeyer, Department of Health.
Aaron Joyce, EPA.
Carrie Hicks, EPA.
Michael Murphy, Office of Homeland Security, South Dakota Task Force 1.
Thank you. And Brad?
Brad Eggers, DHS, CISA.
Anyone else online that I'm not able to see? All right, I'm gonna hand it back over. Sorry, will you say that again?
Dan Richards, PHMSA, Pipeline Hazmat Safety Administration.
Thank you. All right, I'm gonna hand it back over to Jackie, just to give a further introduction since she is new to our meetings.
All right, thanks, Tina. I am Jackie McGuire with Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources. I'm taking over for Trish Kent, who recently retired at the beginning of June for her board member position. I've been with the department for about 7 years now, with the spills team. So taking over for Trish's position, I'm also the regional response team member for the region, EPA Region 8. So the representative for South Dakota, and just been working as a spills team member, handling a bunch of spill cases and being the after hours contact. A lot of you guys have talked to me in the wee hours of the morning, perhaps, but happy to be part of this.
All right, thank you. We do have a quorum, so we'll get going here. Item number 3 is CERC elections. Oh, sorry. Roll call.
David Ackerman. Andrew Canham. Doug Hinkle.
Here.
Jason Humphrey.
Here.
Sean Kruger. Whitney Luptenmeyer.
Here.
Jackie McGuire.
Here.
Tina Titsi here. Janae Kostensen. Dustin Willett.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Yes, we do have a quorum. So moving on then to item number 3, CERC elections. Takes the lead up. You?
That's all you.
So I'm gonna wing it a little bit. Do we have any individuals that want to be the chair? Any volunteers, motions? I am willing to stay on if that helps at all. I've had a short tenure so far.
This is Dustin. I'd make a motion to nominate Tina Titsi as the chair for CERC for the next couple of years.
Thanks.
Jackie McGuire, I second that motion.
All right, do we have any other nominations? Would we like to close the nominations?
Make a motion that nomination cease and unanimous ballot be cast.
Second.
All right, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, motion carries. Tina Titsi will be the chair. Do we also vote for vice?
Yes.
So I'll open it up for any nominations for vice chair.
Dustin's our current vice.
Currently, it's Dustin. Dustin, are you willing to stay on? Would you rather have it open?
I am, so I'll throw this out. I'm willing to stay on as the vice chair. I don't know what the next 2 years look like. So I don't know that I can solidly commit 100% to being involved for 2 years, but if things don't change, I certainly can be. But I'd also be happy to nominate Whitney if she wants to take a crack at vice chair.
I would accept the nomination, Dustin.
And I think that's
Great.
probably better for the CERC. So I would go ahead and make a nomination for Whitney Lukemire for vice chair of the CERC.
Wait, thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All
Jackie
right.
McGuire.
Thank you. Do we have a motion to close nominations?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
I second.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye for Whitney as vice chair.
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you. Appreciate it, Whitney. Thank you for stepping up in that role. All right, so we have Tina Titze chair and Whitney Lukemire as the vice chair. Is that all of? Yes, for 2 years, for 2-year time frame. Moving on then to federal updates, item number 4. Aaron, EPA, do you want to start?
Sure. I don't have too many updates. Just, I don't know if you were planning to mention this, but we had a successful exercise May 27th in Yankton with Region 7 EPA and South Dakota, North and Nebraska. Over 50 people attended, and it was a really great event. So we're glad we were able to participate in that. But that's the only update I have right now.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Dan, PHMSA? I think you're still muted. Looks like.
Sorry, we went over to Google. It's been a minute since I used Teams. Yeah, just some personnel updates. There was some restructuring in PHMSA. So as far as my role, I used to be a community liaison. I used to attend the meetings in that role. Now I'm an accident investigator. What we do is we go out if there's an incident. We're usually the representative from PHMSA that will be on site or shortly after site. We don't go in the hot zone. We'll be in a cold zone area, collecting information and following up, trying to find root cause. So that's what we do on PHMSA's side. So that's my role there. Our community liaisons in PHMSA's changed over to be outside of our regions and now under our headquarters outreach and engagement division, which is led by Clayton Hatfield, and all of those formerly known as community liaisons are now safety outreach specialists. So they also attend outreach events. They also create publications and answer questions and do the data side of everything as well. So that's just a few quick changes in PHMSA, and that's really all I have. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
Thank you. Any questions? Other things? Brad?
Hi, I'm Brad Eggers, Protective Security Advisor for the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. We're beginning to repopulate our staff slowly. And so right now for PSAs, it's me in Rapid City and Rick Miller in Pierre. On the cyber side, Jim Edmonds in Pierre, and we're looking to refill the Rapid City position hopefully in the next few months. We did have the opportunity to participate in a tabletop exercise with a One Oak pipeline in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Very good exercise. One Oak actually comes all the way up to Rapid City, and so there was some influence there as well. But from the CISA side, we are supporting special events, most notably the Rushmore fireworks here at the end of the week. Any questions, I guess?
Thank you. Any questions? Any other federal updates? Moving on to item number 5, approval of the March 31st CERC meeting minutes.
And just as a note, we did make the one change that you had, Tina, so there was just a quick spelling error that we had on the previous meeting minutes. I did not receive any changes from anybody else, so, yeah, everybody is all good with those.
Anyone have any other changes that they noted? All right, looking for a motion for approval of those minutes.
Doug Hinkle, motion for approval as amended.
Thank
Second,
you.
Dustin Willett.
Thank you very much. All those in favor of approval of the March 31st meeting minutes as amended, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes. Minutes are approved. Item number 6, TRI report submittals, Danner. Kelsey.
This is Kelsey. So just a quick update on the TRI submittals. So as a reminder, the TRI, which is the Toxics Release Inventory report, those are annual reports from facilities that manufacture, import, process, or otherwise use any EPCRA Section 313 chemical in quantities greater than the established threshold in the course of a calendar year. These facilities are required to submit their report to the federal EPA and to the CERC. The reports are summarized emissions, discharges, waste sent to landfills, and materials sent for recycling or offsite treatment. The TRI reporting deadline is actually tomorrow. We have received reports from 96 facilities so far. Typically, we get about 100 to 115 of those reports, so we do have the majority of them sent in. So we're looking pretty good in that aspect of getting those reports in. Hopefully here within the next 8 hours, we have the rest of them. So yeah, does anybody have any questions on the TRI reports?
Thank you very much.
Really quick, Chair, can I ask Kelsey a question on that?
Yes, go ahead, Dustin.
Kelsey, on the TRI reports, the facilities that meet that threshold, are those available on like the TerraViewer, or does Danner maintain a map, an online map of where those facilities are? How would we see where those TRI facilities are in a particular jurisdiction?
So EPA has a website that you can take a look at those, but also our department does have an online viewer for that. It is also with our tanks and spills in the public tier 2 database. However, due to some changing in our mapping, our databases, the online mapping for the TRI is not currently working, just because of updates and everything that need to be made. Those are not completed yet. So we do have a public side of it that people are able to see what is there. Again, we don't do quantities or anything like that, but they are able to see where those facilities are located. Currently, right now, I would tell everybody to go to EPA.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Any other questions? Item number 7, regional hazmat team update. Mike Murphy, Office of the Homeland Security, Department of Public Safety.
Yeah, Mike Murphy here. No major updates for the regional teams at this point. We are working on coordinating some training for next calendar year, and also in some early stages of a possible exercise for this fall that would be located in Sioux Falls, but we're just kind of working on some details with the facility that would be willing to host it. And if we're able to secure that facility, then we are looking at a potential September, October exercise that would involve some of the regional teams. But other than that, no major updates at this point. Thanks.
Thank you, Mike. Any questions? Item number 8, LEPC roster approval. Back to you, Kelsey.
Thanks, Tina. So at our last meeting, we voted on 4
LEPCs within those counties to be moved to this meeting for approval or appointment. I did send all of the CERC members the rosters that we did receive. So for those rosters that we received Beadle, Custer, and Gerald counties for approval. And then I have also heard back from the new Bonham Emergency Manager, and their LEPC did disband. So we would also need a vote to approve, appoint of their rosters for the LEPC. So with that, I will be asking the CERC for 2 votes today. One to approve those 3 rosters that we received from Beadle, Custer, and Gerald, and to appoint the Bonham County LEPC. Does anybody have any questions on the rosters that I sent?
All right, looking for a motion for approval for Beadle, Custer, and Gerald.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the rosters for Beadle, Custer, and Gerald. Getting McGuire.
Thank you, Jackie. Any seconds?
Doug Hinkle, second.
Thank you, Doug. All those in favor, Beadle, Custer, and Gerald approval, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're supposed to be there. Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
think we can do it this way.
Anyone opposed? Right, thank you. Motion is approved. Second motion is appointment of the LEPC director for, or LEPC for Bonham.
Yeah, Bonham, sorry.
Dustin will go ahead and make that motion to appoint the Bonham County LEPC.
Whitney will second.
Thank you. We have Dustin with a motion and Whitney with a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Sorry. Anyone opposed? Motion is approved. See, item number 9, HMEP grants, training, and planning report. Rhett.
Good morning, everybody. As you can see, we're starting to whittle down on our HBP 25 funding. We're getting close to the 50% mark. We had 8 activities completed of 19, a little bit of a typo on that second page, but there's 8 down out of 19. Our department's doing a really good job. A couple of counties have some planning, HME or hazmat awareness plans that they're getting done at this time. HMEP 26, we have the application in for the state of South Dakota. There is, I believe, 8 sub-grantees that have put in for funds with that. We're waiting on a couple of completed from Aberdeen Fire and Watertown Fire for lithium battery fires and the Coal Zone Conference and an 8-hour highway ARF activity that Aberdeen Fire completed. So no news on the HBP 26. We're getting whittled down pretty good on the HBP 25. Any questions?
Anybody with questions for Rhett? Thank you, Rhett. Good report. Both of those. Public comment period. Do we have anyone on public?
We do not.
We have to wait a certain amount of time. We don't have anyone for public comment. So we'll move on to item number 11, other business. I'll kick that off with an update. We had a storm go through Highmore, South Dakota, straight line winds, recorded winds over 130 mile per hour. Significant damages were impacting the power lines, multiple homes, nursing home, houses, grain bins and businesses there. So still assessing damages, have several state and volunteers assisting with cleanup. There's been quite a showing of volunteers that showed up with equipment and donations. State agencies that are supporting include Department of Transportation, from the Department of Public Safety, Highway Patrol, Office of Emergency Management, Department of Corrections has inmates supporting the cleanup efforts. And Highway Patrol did have the area fairly locked down until last night. There's still security in the area, but I believe we are able to travel through there now, and just a massive cleanup effort and looking to assess all of the damages and determine next steps as well there in support of them. Had some other areas across the state that certainly had some significant wind and some damages. There was a tornado that was confirmed also. Do you remember the town?
Or something.
Yeah, it was a small town. It escapes me right now. But it was a significant storm. It took a while to get out of the state, and it was one of those, thank you, Andover, had the tornado confirmed. Took a while, and it was one of those unusual early morning storms, which in emergency management, we do kind of cringe when we see those early morning storms. So we've continued to monitor and support that, and I'm sure there'll be additional volunteer agencies that support with that cleanup effort and recovery as well. So it's a short update on the events of the straight line winds and that storm. So
Tina, do you anticipate if there's going to be a disaster declared for this?
we are working right now to determine if we're going to do a state of emergency. I believe there's been a verbal perhaps on that. We're working that up, and then we'll do an assessment. There is certain threshold, approximately 1.8 million, to request federal disaster assistance. So that's why the assessment is quite important, because there are thresholds we have to meet. So for the different programs. Great question. Thank you.
And so, you know, just to let you know, this is Jack Collier. Danner has also had staff out there assisting us, particularly with the waste management and making sure that stuff's going where it needs to go and making any exceptions if there's needed.
Sure.
And we've had a couple of small spills reported to us so far, nothing too big, some waste oil. We expect there to be some issues with some of the wind turbines that got knocked over, but not too bad in a hazmat.
Okay, thank you. Good add.
The one thing with the disaster declaration is that does remove some of, the rules with burning the debris and rubble and stuff like that with our waste management program. So, if a declaration is made, might make it a little bit easier with getting rid of some of those waste. So.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any additions from others? The storm updates. Right, any other business items?
This is Kelsey. We are looking at our next meeting, being our in-person in September with the South Dakota Emergency Management Association Conference. That will be in Spearfish. The dates of the conference are September 14th through the 17th. So we are looking at our meeting tentatively being on the 15th. It will be at 5 o'clock. What is that? Western? What? Mountain. Thank you. Mountain time. Once I have a finalized date for that meeting, I will let everybody know.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other business? Moving on then to item number 12, adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Doug Hinkle moved, motion to adjourn.
Thank you. A second?
Jack McGuire, second.
Thank you.
You vote on that. We can just do it. I say aye.
All in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Have a great 4th of July, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just a little bit.
We'll bump you to start. I was gonna ask Doug for the red hang up button on that tablet, please. But I was gonna ask Doug for a 4th